Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. I am James Gumera from BSMT1B, and in this video I am going to discuss and talk about the rule or colregs rule number 1 to rule number 38. Without further ado, let's begin. Rule number 1, application. It means apply to all vessels upon the high seas and all waters connected to the high seas and navigable by seagoing vessel. Rule number 2, responsibility. Covers the responsibility of masters, owner, and crew to comply with the rules. Rule number 3, general definition. Vessel not under command means any vessel which, because of some reason, cannot keep out of the way of the vessels. Rule number 4. Rule number 4 says that section applies in any condition of visibility. Rule number 5. Lookout. Every vessel shall at all times maintain a proper lookout by sight and hearing as well as by all available means appropriate in the prevailing circumstances and condition so as to make a full appraisal of the situation and of the risk of collision. 6. Safe speed. Every vessel shall at all times proceed at a safe speed so that she can take proper and effective action, avoid collision, and to stop within a distance appropriate to the prevailing circumstances and condition. Rule number 7. Risk of collision. Every vessel shall use all available means appropriate to the prevailing circumstances and condition to determine if risk of collision exists. The rule number 8. Action to avoid collision. Any action taken to avoid collision shall, if the circumstances of the case admit, be positive, made an ample time with with due regard to the observance good seamanship. Rule number 9. Narrow channel. A vessel proceeding along the course of a narrow channel or fairway shall keep as near to the outer limit of the channel or fairway which lies on her starboard side as if safe and practicable. Rule number 10. Traffic separation scheme. A vessel shall not use in onshore traffic zone when she can safely use the appropriate traffic lane within the adjacent traffic separation scheme. Rule number 11. Application. Rule 11 says the section applies to vessel inside of one another. Rule number 12. Sailing vessel. When two sailing vessels are approaching one another so as to involve risk of collision, every vessel shall use all available means appropriate to the prevailing circumstances and conditions to determine if risk of collision exists. Rule number 13. Overtaking states that any vessel overtaking in any other shall keep out of the way of the vessel being overtaken. 14. Head-on situation. When two power-driven vessels are meeting on reciprocal or nearly reciprocal course so as to involve risk of collision, each shall alter her course to starboard so that each shall pass on the port side of the others. Rule number 15. Cruising situation. When two power-driven vessels are cruising so as to involve risk of collision, the vessel which has the other on her own starboard side shall keep out of the way and shall, if the circumstances of the case admit, avoid cruising ahead of the other vessels. 16. Action by the giveway vessel. Every vessel which is direct to keep out of the way of another shall As far as possible, take early and substantial action to keep wheel clear. 17. Action by the stand-on vessel. Stand-on vessel may take action to avoid collision by her maneuver alone as soon as it becomes apparent to her that the vessel required to keep out of the way is not taking appropriate action. 18. Responsibilities between vessels. It states that any vessel except a vessel not under command or restricted in her ability to maneuver must avoid impeding the safe passage of the vessel constrained by her draft and exhibiting the signals mentioned in Rule number 28. Rule number 19. Restricted visibility. States every vessel should proceed at a safe speed adapted to prevailing circumstances and restricted visibility. Rule number 20. Application. Every vessel shall at all time maintains a proper lookout by sighting and hearing as well as by all available means appropriate in prevailing circumstances and conditions so as to make a full appraisal of the situation and of the risk of collision. Rule 22. Visibility of light. The light prescribed in these rules shall have an intensity of specific in Action 8 Annex to this regulation so as to be visible. Rule 23. Power-driven vessel underway. A masted light forward, a second masted light above of higher than the forward one, except that a vessel of less than 50 meters in length shall not obligate to exhibit such light but may do so side lights and stern lights. Rule 24. Towing and pushing. It states that when pushing vessel and a vessel being pushed ahead are rigidly connected in a composite unit, they are regarded as a power-driven vessel and must exhibit the lights prescribed in Rule number 23. Rule number 25. Sailing vessels underway and vessels under oars. Sailing vessels underway shall exhibit 1. Side lights, stern lights, and sailing vessel of less than 20 meters in length, the lights prescribed in paragraph 26. Fishing vessels. The vessels engaged in fishing shall exhibit only the lights and shape prescribed in this rule. Rule 27. Vessel not under command or restricted their ability to maneuver. These lights or shapes indicate that it is dangerous for another vessel to approach within 1,000 meters of the mine clearance vessels. Rule 28. Vessel constrained by their draft exhibit where they can best be seen three all-round red lights in vertical lines or a cylinder. 29. Pilot vessel. A pilot vessel when not engaged on pilotage duty shall exhibit the lights or shapes prescribed for a similar vessel of her length. 30. Anchored vessel and vessel aground. A vessel at anchor shall exhibit where it can best be seen in the forepart of all-round white light or one ball at or near the stern at the lower level that the light prescribed in subparagraph, an all-round white lights, Rule 31, seaplanes, where it is impracticable for the seaplanes to exhibit lights in shapes of the characteristic or in the position prescribed in the rule of this part, she shall exhibit lights in shape as closely similar in characteristic and position as is possible. 32. Definition. Gives definition of whistle, short blast, and prolonged blast. Rule number 33. Equipment for sound signals. Says vessels 12 meters or more in length should carry a whistle and a bell, and vessel 100 meters or more length should carry in addition a gong. 34. Maneuver and warning signal covers maneuvering and warning signals using whistle or lights. Rule 35. Sound signals in restricted visibility. in or near an area of restricted visibility. Whether by day or night, the signals prescribed in this rule shall be used. Rule 36. Signals to attract attentions. Any light to attract the attentions of another vessel shall be such that it cannot be mistaken for any aid to navigation. Rule 37. Distress signals. When a vessel is in distress and requires assistance, she shall use or exhibit the signals described in Annex 4 to this regulation. And lastly, Rule 38. Rule 38 is exemptions. Rule 38 says ships which comply with the 1960 collision regulations and were built or already under construction when the 1972 collision regulation entered into force may be exempted from some requirements for light and sound signals for specified periods. That's all, sir. Thank you. I hope you understand.